What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Uh, Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel. Check out the content, right? And so, with that being said, man, I want to talk about Kevin Durant and his need to seem like he wants to control the narratives, and because like he recently got caught again or got exposed for having a burner account. And so Kevin Durant thinks that he really believes that you can fight fire with fire, which in my opinion is not true. You don't fight fire with fire. You just make this, you just is you just make the situation bigger with more fire, right? But he thinks that you can fight fire with fire. And so anytime somebody says something to Kevin Durant that he don't want to put his name out there. So he had these burner accounts where as though he could respond to different things, right? And so it's important for him to control the narrative. When I think that the main way that Kevin Durant can control the narrative, and this is something that like a lot of people are falling for now in this social media age. They think that just because you have a platform, like you control the narratives. And that's not true. Like the people who have always controlled the narratives still control the narratives, right? The way they, through media, they the way they've been controlling it in the past. And so how you control the narrative as an individual is through your actions, and Kevin Durant, like people are always going to say things about you, no matter what. But if you are performing on the court and and what you do publicly, that's what people go to. Like, so the media, they can say almost anything, but if you show different than what the media is saying, then that's the only way you have. But I don't care how many followers you have on your account or how articulate you are, when you express yourself, that don't matter, man. You gotta show people through your actions. That's the only way, because you're fighting their game when you do stuff like this. And then people like Jason Whitlock can go onto his podcast and make jokes about it, and which that's I'm gonna play the audio from Jason Whitlock and his crew, but that it just make your situation worse when you fight their fight, which is to their benefit.
Kevin Durant has been caught with another burner account. And I have to say, like, I'm a fan of Kevin Durant. I like the fact that he will go at people on social media. I've bent over backwards trying to be sympathetic towards Kevin Durant, and it's blowing up in my face. He's on the court warming up for the game with his cell phone. This guy seems obsessed with social media. He's warming up for the All-Star game. He's on his phone. And I didn't even know anything about him getting busted with another burner account. This morning when I said to the people, I was like, hey man, Kevin Durant looked off or distracted or disinterested, couldn't make a shot. He just looked washed up in the All-Star game. And someone says, yeah, I think he was distracted by this whole burner account situation. I'm so uncomfortable with the fact that I root for Kevin Durant. I like Kevin Durant, but he disappoints me continuously. I can't believe he's still doing this burner account thing. Dre, I'm gonna let you start us off here. How do you describe Kevin Durant? What's going on with his personality?
Kevin Durant is a normal human being in 2026, Jason, who happens to be 7 feet tall and really good at basketball. Take away him being good at ball and him being Kevin Durant, what makes him different from the average person on social media? Absolutely nothing. The only thing is he needs a second account because he knows he can't say those things behind his main account because it would be a PR disaster. He's just, I guess, messy enough that he got caught. But he's not obsessed with social media. He is obsessed with dopamine, which all human beings are. And when you use social media a lot, those dopamine drips keep coming in and you can't put the phone down. But he's no different than the average human being. He just happens to be a basketball player. That's it.
All right, so let me comment on that, right? So I don't know about the dopamine and everything, but if I was in Kevin Durant's shoes, and it's hard to be like, like you are the topic of conversation because you're a professional basketball player, and as a public figure, you want to be able to have some type of control when it comes to your image, right? And what people think about you and what people know about you. You want to be in control of that stuff, right? And so that's where I think like the frustration for Kevin Durant comes in, is because sometimes people say things and then other people will believe it. He got to realize that, you can't control what people say, and then you can't control what other people are going to believe. But I keep going back to the same point. If you show people differently, something different, then people will, some people will catch on. But people, I just think that he put himself in a position where he make himself, I don't know, it's not a good look. Like I said, when you fight their fight, and then it keep coming out that he had these burner accounts. He looked kind of like he's obsessed with his image.
Scap.
It's honestly, it's sad that a guy is great and is elite all time as Kevin Durant. I mean, when you just the guy's skill set, his abilities, where he ranks all time in scoring, like fringe top 15 all time NBA player. The fact that he is so thin skinned, it's just sad. And for my purposes, it's laughable. I enjoy watching these antics. But like, why does a guy? There's a famous clip of him being interviewed during a Golden State Finals run. I think the year he ultimately ruptured his Achilles, where he took over mid-series of one of the series, and a reporter was asking him about, he's like, I'm Kevin Durant. You know who I am, right? Apparently, he doesn't know who he is because he is amassing multiple burner accounts to go and mix it up with dudes with like 50 people following them. Like, I cannot believe that an athlete of his caliber is this concerned with what literal nobodies are saying about him. But it's highly amusing and engaging, because this is like the third or fourth time that he's been caught red-handed with a burner account, and it's just utterly hilarious to me.
Steve.
Yeah, now as far as like engaging with people, like I said, it don't matter if the person had 50 followers or if they have 50,000 followers or 50 million followers, right? It's the same thing. You just have to show something different. And let people, and even like I said, people are going to say what they want to say about you. So, and that's just not something that you can control.
He's got more burner accounts than a guy juggling 5 wives. I think it's kind of interesting, but to Dre's point, yeah, he is normal. I think there's a lot of people that do this, but not as a public figure. I see one thing about Durant, and I used to be a really big advocate of his, like you, Jason. But I wonder if he's getting more thin-skinned because post-Golden State, his reputation as a player has really taken a hit. Just think about this. Wasn't it about 8-9 years ago, people thought this is the best player in the league. He's going to overtake LeBron. But as I look back at it, from the time that he left Golden State and he came full-on nomad, right? Every couple of years seems to be in a new team. These teams don't do a lot. I actually, and didn't Golden State win one after he left, or at least they went to a finals or here and there? I'm thinking, wow.
After,
yeah.
So it's like Kevin Durant, I think, is growing frustrated, or has been frustrated by the second half of his career and the growing criticism.
I gotta say,
all right. So I like what this guy Steve Kim said, right? Because I think like it goes back to my point that had Kevin Durant just focused on what he was doing on the court, and you stay with one team and you focus on being the best basketball player you could have, that's how you control the narrative, because you are a basketball player, right? And that's what everybody's concerned about. They're concerned about what you're doing on court. So once he started moving around and shipping around from team to team, and he's not having the kind of success that he's having, and we don't know what's going on inside Kevin Durant's head. And so he feel like he has to have these accounts so he can express himself, rather than demonstrating, that's where he went wrong. I said, if Kevin Durant had stayed in one team or in one city, and he would be dominating, we used to talk about Kevin Durant. I always thought Kevin Durant, in my opinion, early in his career was better than LeBron James, right? And so when Kevin Durant was playing against LeBron James in the playoffs, and he was just dogging LeBron James, and they couldn't do nothing. The referees had to really help out the they had to help LeBron James team out, to get, because it was all about LeBron James. So LeBron James got help from the ref, and I thought that right there really frustrated Kevin Durant, because he's probably thinking that, all right, if like if you're the best, you're going to get credit for being the best. If you're really good, you're going to get credit. But he was not selected by the NBA, and that kind of really after he realized, how the NBA operate, then I think that frustrated him. And so he wants to get his narrative out there when that's just not how you do it. He went about it, in my opinion, he went about it all wrong, trying to control the narrative, man. And then that's why he got these burner accounts. And like I said, I don't care how articulate you are, and if you say something profound, it don't really matter. It's all gonna fall on deaf ears, because it's all about demonstrating. That would be his stronger. That would be his best way to control the narrative, not to screaming from mountaintops and stuff like that. So that's my take on it. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to leave a comment, and I'm gonna check y'all out in the next video. Peace.